Alina Karka. Let's see. Great work also before the Cups. Thanks, Terminator. Everybody spreading out the love. Okay, speaking of the Euro Cup, we've got one of the Euro Cup players here, MBL, the bye-bye man, playing in the yellow. He's going to play against the last American hope at a pro AOC player. Is that true? Do we have anybody else? We do. We have a couple of really strong players, but Spring here at 2,200 might be the highest rated American. Is that true? Somebody correct my math here. Anyway, it is a Huns war. That is Spring's bread and butter. He's kind of known for being one of these super, super aggressive players. So expect tons of aggression and excitement from Spring. On the other side of the map, we've got MBL. MBL playing in the yellow trunks. Obviously one of the top players in the game. I don't think you need me to tell you that. But I think it's worth noting that MBL is a rather defensive player. I think he tends to wall up a bit. He tends to play somewhat of a boomy style. We don't see him... Oh, we see him lose a villager to the boar there. Oh, sweet Jesus. Oh, my God. Rip. Rip that poor villager. Oh, man. MBL just letting women die under his town center. Well, that's going to hurt, man. I was about to say that MBL's a strong defender. He actually does do a really good job at protecting himself. And usually booming up. If he wins a game, it's usually a little later on. We don't see him win a ton of feudal games, but yeah, I'm overgeneralizing at this point. Dead villager is a bummer for MBL. Looks like Spring will be pushing in some deer. Hun's meta seems to be in effect for Spring on 19 villagers. He's going to click up, and he's probably just going to go into scouts. He's going to build a handful of scouts, maybe 5. I don't know how many he's going to build. He's Spring. I don't know. He knows. But this extra food will help him pump out scouts early on in this match. Then we'll see him transition probably to archers. That's usually what we see in Huns Wars. And then cav archers. But we'll see. Barracks coming up for now for Spring. MBL on the other side will click up a bit later. Going to be playing this one from behind already. Walling in a bit of his wood line here on the side. Getting prepared for some potential aggression to come his way. MBL is going to send 5 villagers forward, and this does not seem like it doesn't seem like he's building just a barracks here. I think he is actually going forward to push on Spring a bit. So MBL will be up later, but he will go forward with towers, or well, I shouldn't say towers, with 5 vills though. Probably a tower, a barracks, maybe some skirms. I don't know what the plan is. But we'll see him rolling to the front of the map on that side. Spring has a nice safe wood line pretty far from this aggression. He is up. His stable is down. We got to keep an eye on Spring scouting because he might be able to find this or see it coming. No, he won't. He's going to have his scout into MBL's wood line for now. It's a big risk for MBL sending those villagers forward because if he wants to send a spearman to defend his resources, it's going to have to walk all the way across the map. And he's just now hitting feudal age. So these first 2 scouts from Spring can probably get back on to MBL's wood line before the first spearman can get home safely for MBL. Of course, that would leave these villagers exposed as well. So kind of a catch-22 for the old bye-bye man. Let's see where this first spearman does come out on the front. First tower does come up. MBL seems to be taking gold because he's on 95 stone. 3 villagers in the back here. He's going to continue to roll forward with more towers. Not a whole lot of place to go right now. If he goes the long way around this wood line, I think he's actually going to get walled out of doing any real damage. But he will potentially be able to control this gold if he towers on this side. Archery range coming for MBL. It will be a stable archery range for the blue player. Spring did not send those scouts forward. MBL did send a spearman home, I think. No, he hasn't. Nothing protecting MBL at home. Spring's 5 scouts are out. The only thing that would be bad for him is if he fights on the front, well, which he's going to do. Spring here doesn't need this fight at all. He needs to run straight back to MBL's eco, but he's so focused on the towers that he's... Oh man, he's getting honey-dicked. Come on, Spring. Stop fighting those spearmen and go get into MBL's economy. In the end, Spring will clean up the spears. He will continue to fight these towers on the front, but MBL right now is... Well, I wouldn't say MBL is winning, but I think Spring would be much better off on a different part of the map. Looks like 4 scouts still alive for Spring. MBL still roaming around dropping towers. Looks like the spearmen from MBL are... Some of them are getting in here to get a few pokes in on these scouts. which is a decent bit of damage, I would say. Interesting game. MBL coming forward, and he's really keeping Spring honeypotted on the front. Spring is really excited about killing that army, but he's left MBL just totally safe back at home. Blue player is on 25 Vils, MBL is on 28, and all of a sudden, that player who I said was a great defensive player is out on the offensive like a madman. Those towers are not doing much. I like just ignoring those. I agree, Gloken. This tower takes away the berries. This tower is a little bit annoying. Even the tower over here, I mean, yeah, it takes away the gold, I suppose. But I thought Spring could get in with his scouts, but he's still reluctant to leave the front of his own base. MBL is he's not playing this one defensively. He's not walling up and booming in this one. Spring will jump onto stone so he can build more defensive towers. Looks like MBL will walk right in front of this tower from Spring, and he will drop another tower of his own. Spring, for now, is still not really able to push MBL back. A couple scouts, or a scout for MBL, a couple of spearmen. I think on top of this hill he's going to be okay. Spring's just not equipped to push this army back. He's much better equipped to get back here, but MBL has brought a few scouts back home to protect. Interesting game here. Huns war on Arabia, but not the Huns meta we're used to seeing, especially not from the yellow player MBL, aka the bye-bye man. Hopefully you guys got to catch his games in the Euro Cup this weekend. That was a lot of fun. Nice LAN tournament from Cologne, Germany. You can find the VOD, the VOD, on mixer.com/escapeaoe. Check that out. And leave some feedback. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that tournament. Looks like we will see Spring now roaming forward with those scouts. He's going to find MBL with a spear or two in defense. But I still think he can do a lot of damage here if he's careful. He can either just kill this spear right off the bat, which he's going to do, using the hill advantage and using some good micro not to lose any of his scouts. And then he can run right into this wood line, and MBL does not have a lot to stop him. Yellow player does have a tower up on this hill. He's being annoying, taking the gold away from Spring. Spring may need a market in order to get up later on in this game. But right now, I think the scouts are doing plenty of good damage. Spring is 7 villagers behind, though, so he's got to continue to keep the pressure on. MBL with 3 spears, 4 spears now in this jurisdiction. He's just playing Spring like a drum at the moment. I think the window has closed for scout raiding. As bad as I wanted to see these scouts come in and do some raiding, they're just a little bit late. Too many spears in defense. MBL starting to protect his own gold on the other side. He'll tower that up. And this is not looking good for Spring, kind of. It's not looking good all of a sudden. 8 villagers behind. Towers on the front of his base. Really what's more important is that he hasn't been able to pressure MBL at all. Let's see. If I'm wrong, I should banish myself with my rate to the Shadowlands. Let's see. By the way, I joined the Smarthy party. All right. That's awesome. It's not a party without Milmano. That's just the way it is. Spring will come out to the side, drop a tower, start to take gold over there. Still does have a big feudal army. Both guys grab a wheelbarrow. Spring won't be up anytime soon. He's really invested in feudal pressure. A couple skirmishers forward to keep these spearmen honest. Should be able to get in if he plays his cards right. Taking down the spears and raiding with those scouts. This woodline's still very exposed from MBL, but Spring has not bothered to hit that area just yet. Yellow player just towering up more and more. Every moment we roll forward, it's just going to become more and more difficult for Spring to try to take this one over. He's certainly not out of it yet. He has a score lead, has a big military. He's 8 villagers behind, which is a big difference. But he has found some safe gold. He does have an army. He can get himself, pull himself up by the bootstraps here. I'm staying optimistic for Spring's sake. Spring, though, 100 food, 30 gold. MBL, 500 food, 300 gold at the moment. Those are just not numbers you want to see if you're the blue player Spring. Double stables coming for MBL. He's going to add in a few more scouts. Scale barding armor coming for him. Could definitely wall in this back wood line if he wanted to, but it looks like he's just going to play this close to the vest, jump in the tower, and defend himself for now. Spring coming forward with more and more scouts, forging on the way. Did Spring get bloodlines? He did. So Spring is kind of in this all-in feudal push. MBL is actually going to have to try to call his bluff here with a couple of scouts as well. Still enough spears here from MBL to deter Spring from really doing any serious damage, but the blue player continues to roam around and look to do damage. MBL will spend all that food that he had. Thought he was going to click up soon, but he's going to spend it all to defend himself. There are some strategies like the all-in scout rush or the tower rush where your opponent kind of damns you into playing that game a little bit. You know, if MBL tries to go up right now, it's so risky with all of these scouts, bloodlines, +1 damage, +1 defense. Decancel forging. Roaming around into your eco, that's just not a risk that you want to take, especially if you're a little bit ahead in the game. Punish yourself with AOC math, you deserve it. Fight in the middle. Seems like MBL is not going to win this, I don't think. Spring is really all in on it. In the end, he's going to... Ooh, Spring gonna lose this? MBL reinforcing with more scouts. Spring clicking up to the Castle Age. And in the end, yeah, yellow player's gonna win the day. I'm wondering if there's a difference in upgrades here. No, they seem to be equal, but Spring will have to go back. So MBL's towers on the front of Spring's map still continue to harass a bit, taking away this gold. As we said, he's going to go ahead and stonewall in that gold. Oh, what a douche move. MBL is going to totally stonewall up Spring's gold on that side. Spring has this gold. He's safe over here. He's going to drop archery ranges. I don't see any archers on the map for him, so I think he's just going to wait and go straight into cav archers. Trying to wall is the blue player. He's got to hurry up. Just going to get those walls done in time? Question mark? Yes, indeed. We'll get those walls done just in the nick of time. 2 towers here should protect this area. MBL can run in. His scouts are rather beefy. Needs to run past those towers if he's going to do any damage, but Spring's eco is pretty well towered up. Pretty well safe. So, Castle Age on the way, Forging on the way for MBL, Padded Archer Armor on the way for Spring. Spring's not in a great spot here. 10 villagers behind. Not a whole lot of military for him. He's been somewhat aggressive in the mid-feudal age, but just hasn't gotten any real damage in. He will be up to castle first, though. Spring will hit Castle Age now. He will have a bit of wood and gold in the bank. I think we're going to see some cav archers, which should clean up MBL's army pretty quickly. Triple ranges there for him. It's going to be 1 TC, I think, for quite some time. Spring here is not going to have the wood for another TC, nor does he really want it. Food-wise, I just don't think he can afford it. You have the voice of a man with balls. No homo. I cannot stand... Oh, that's mean, man. Nilly's my homeboy. It was really great getting to meet Nilly. He's just so into the game. And he knows so much. I learned so much stuff just by hanging out with him for just a few days. Really great guy. Let's see. Wolf's coming in. No big deal. Cav Archer should be fine. Let's see. Killer Noob says, salty indeed. Fight was under MBL's tower. Says Trolldemort. MBL lame. MBL noob has no man code. I think it's fine to do that. And it's a good point. MBL's tower here definitely should have contributed to that fight. I wasn't even noticing that. I'm gonna blame it on being sick. Defensive Mangonel for Spring. That's an interesting decision because he knows that MBL has added in more stables. He knows MBL's on triple stables. So I don't think a Mangonel is really what he wants, but he does need to knock down these towers. Touche. Touche. Definitely time to get a Mangonel out. My bad. Anyway, Knight's starting to roll out for the bye-bye man. +1 damage, +2 defense. Bloodlines is in. 2nd and 3rd town center, and 4th town center is on the way. So MBL will try to boom his way up in this one. I think he's close enough, MBL, to, putting the last dagger into his opponent, but he's going to boom up in this one. Going to play it a little safe, I suppose. Mango on the front will live for now. Looks like that tower will be in some trouble. Cav Archers from Spring responding to some knights from MBL, but I don't think MBL has enough here. He can probably kill this Mangonel. He can definitely kill this Mangonel. But he will lose a couple knights in the process. Cav Archers from Spring turning and firing should be able to chop down some of MBL's knights. No ballistics in by the looks of it, so lots of missed arrows, but in the end, I think the blue player is going to be happy with the damage he can do to MBL's army. We're going to see a couple knights go down in the process. Maybe a couple more knights before all is said and done. Blue player hanging out in the front of MBL's base with his scout. Yeah, triple stable knights, triple TCs. 66 villagers right now for the bye-bye man. Not going to have a lot of resource in the bank to work with because he's keeping 4 town centers pumping on villagers. But good farming economy, decent gold economy, should be able to produce a lot of knights. Kind of wasting some knights, I would say, on the other side. Again, MBL's tower lobbing an arrow fire here, but this is a big bank of CA, and they should be chopping these knights down somewhat quickly. Looks like MBL is going to lose this knight here on the back. Oh, survives with 2 HP for a moment. Spring right now has 33 military. He's got 1 TC still. Going to come forward again with another mangonel to start knocking down this tower, but Spring's got to get into MBL's eco at this point. 3 knights on low HP are not something he needs to chase around with 40 cav archers. Yeah, this is probably more like 25. But those 25 CA need to get into the yellow economy and do some damage. Lots of towers here for yellow, though. It's going to be really hard to get in here and do too much. But he's got to give it a go. Spring's only chance to win on 1 TC is to come in and chop down some vills. Looks like he'll roam in, grab 3 or 4 vills, should be able to jump out of here. But right now he's fighting that TC. Not really an ideal situation. Spring is standing and fighting this TC. I think he's busy back at home microing against some more knights. Eventually Spring will pull back. I don't know if we have a university for him yet. Yes, we do. We should see ballistic soon if we haven't seen it already. Yeah, Spring's in a lot of trouble here. I think this one might be... Yeah, Spring needs to kill like 20 vills, I agree. Let's see. More knights going down. A couple mangoes on the front for Spring. This is what he was waiting for. He's going to try to siege MBL down a bit. But, man, it feels like it's really, really late in the game. Feels like he's several days late and several bucks short. Did kill a farm, though. Let's be on the positive side. Knights massing up for MBL. He's got... how many does he have? He's got 16 total military. It's probably mostly knights. Doing some raiding on some sides of the map. Right now he's just trying to keep this TC up and keep himself afloat. Gold shaft mine incoming. MBL. Is he still cranking knights? I would think. Yep, still triple stable knights. Keeping those actually 4, now 5 stable knights. So the yellow player is just trying to hold the line. Keep this TC alive for a bit longer. Keep Spring out of the main part of this economy until it's time to strike. 3 TCs in a block here are really not what those cav archers, want to run into. MBL is out of wood for a moment, so he had to stop repairing that TC. He'll circle his knights around the top side here and see if he can snipe some mangonels. Yeah, I mean, I don't think MBL's going to get 1 mango. Might get 2. Not the greatest engagement for him, but he does need to kill those mangonels to keep his town centers going. So we will see him do just that. Spring in the end will not get this TC down. Won't kill too many vills, maybe 3 or 4. And he'll have to retreat back to his base on 60 villagers. MBL in the meantime on 103. The bye-bye man coming forward with knights now. His forward towers are just getting cleaned up by Spring. Spring's got a second TC in the mix. But 62 vills is just not nearly enough. Just not nearly enough. These knights will come in and just take down the siege units and try to get out of dodge before taking too much arrow fire. So MBL loses a villager early, goes forward with some towers, keeps his opponent quite busy with those towers, and in the end seems to be in a great position to finish off this game. Isn't going imp anytime soon. He's really focused on building 5 stable knights. 5 stable knights, 4 TCs of villagers, 5th town center coming on the front, 110 vills at the moment. Should absolutely be an easy path to victory for MBL, so I'll look in the chat and see what's up. But we appreciate all the casters trying to cast in English and doing such a great job. Spring needs to kill 20 vills. Nilly's cast, he's like off the chain. He's a good dude, but I prefer... I think he was really, really good to cast with. always makes me feel really comfortable to have somebody who's super knowledgeable. And I don't know, I've always had good flow with Millie. But hey, everybody has their favorites. I know there's certainly plenty of people who don't like my casting style. But, you know, we all have to just keep doing what we love. And man, do I love casting some AOC. Good to be here with you guys on a Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday. Probably gonna try to get a green screen in between now and then. I feel like a green screen would be a cool thing to tinker with. Springs Eco here on the front is totally idle under this TC. He's up to 74 bills. Good night rating from MBL. Still not really able to win a like bludgeon-esque war. I don't think he can just push right into the teeth of Spring. But he can certainly kill some villagers, and Spring's entire army has to come back to deal with this. And that basically means that Spring can't go kill the villagers that he needs to kill. We were talking earlier how Spring needs to get in with these cav archers and do as much damage as he can. But MBL is just basically circumventing that by sending forward +2 defense knights, continuously raiding. These knights are going to get cleaned up, but they're going to kill some vills. And maybe more importantly, they're going to give MBL even more time back at home to get himself in order. Nice little trap in the end from Spring, but I don't think it's good enough. 65 villagers right now for him, 36 idols, 39 idols right now. MPL just sending the next group of knights straight into the town center. Literally sacrificing them for the cause. You know, who cares in the end if you lose that army when you've got 5 TCs and you've got 135 vills? You can build more. Especially with all this map control that MBL seems to have. He's in great shape. A little bit of clandestine economy on this side. I would be shocked if we didn't see a castle somewhere in defense on this corner because it's just so wide open. But I'd also be shocked if this game lasts much longer. I think Spring's in a lot of trouble. Third town center up for Spring. Lots of villagers cobbed up over there. MBL will come back in with more knights and help them from getting cobbed up. They'll get inside the TC in a nice orderly way. Spring should have played 100 times more aggressive this game and wall against the knights, says Gloken. Yeah, I tend to agree with that. A little bit of a passive game from Spring, but you know, would I have done better versus MBL? Hell no. So I can't give him too much shit. Knowledge makes him a great caster. Doesn't miss things like other casters do. Yeah, I agree. Totally agree. Look at the Cav Archers bugging out. Cav Archers doing the old jitterbug here. What is happening with this CA? I just don't know, but I think my brain is broken. MBL camping on the top of the hill with knights. He's literally pop-capped. He's not even up to the Imperial Age yet. Resources are starting to really grow for him. Spring on the other side. Not going to be clicking imp anytime soon. MBL raiding hither and thither, and it just seems like this one is over. It seems like this one is over. Never agree with Gloken, says John. Never agree with Gloken. Gloken's never steered me wrong. Never steered me wrong. Well, maybe a few times, but not in AOC. Never steered me wrong in this lovely game of ours. More ranges coming for Spring, but he's going to give the well played, and the GG will come in from MBL. And we will call it a day in this game. MBL with a nice clean win, I would say. Pretty enjoyable, if you ask me. Pretty well done. I